I think one thing that I must say, because different institutions, they will have our different processes in which we actually look out for. In fact, one of the principle that we do follow is actually the do no harm principle, to actually ensure that we rather leave a place better off than actually leave that place worse off, right? That if we're actually investing in and that's a dilemma we actually do face, right? That you see a country that is in so much need of a dam because they need access to electricity, they need to actually protect certain areas against flood risk and things like that. But then you also see the other side where there is a need for you to ensure that you're not just actually solving a problem to create another problem, right? It's a very big challenge that development banks have actually got to face. And in reality, it's not that easy to actually address those type of issues, but I can tell you that we will have those tools, right? That we actually have in our institutions, that we actually use to actually ensure that projects do not actually contribute negatively while trying to actually address a major problem, or while trying to actually enhance and build the resilience of a particular country or a system or sector and creating more problems. Depending on the way you look at it, I can say that the progress that we've made in the last 10, 20 years, I think it's been enormous. In fact, the progress that we've made in the last 10 years, it's been so much. And the progress that we've made in the last 5 years, I think it's much more than what we've ever actually made in terms of our processes. And that's the thing that we learn, right? There were instances where, based on the level of understanding that we had 10 years ago, they're so different today because we've been able to learn from some project that we implemented that never worked well the way we wanted. Some of them actually resulted in negative adverse effect on the community and on those systems, right? And we've been able to actually learn from those ones. And we've been able to actually use those ones to actually develop more robust policies to actually accommodate for some of those things. So you are right, there are instances where some of these things have happened in the past, but I think today, if you look at most of the projects that we finance as MDBs, I think there are a whole lot of those things, that corrective measures that we've been able to actually incorporate. And of course, because these things do take process. Imagine we work in tens of countries, right? There are some of our of MDBs that have member states from over 160 countries, and they have countries, field reps in all these regions and countries. In my office, there are about 11 regions, 11 regional hubs where we work from, and these are staff in their thousands, right? So training the staff to be able to get to that level of awareness do take time. There are standards that you have to set, but today, while you've trained staff to get to that level, then the country might not have gotten to that level. So you see that it's a huge body of work that, and that's why we continually train and retrain and retrain and retrain on the best way to actually address some of these very exceptional cases where you actually have maladaptation actually happening in our efforts to actually help countries actually adapt to the risk that climate change actually poses.